What you gonna do? Get it, boo. So it's 2 a.m. and I am about halfway through my story. I hope you watched part one that I just uploaded. So you guys get to see part one, and now this is part two. This is going to follow the mass exodus out of paparazzi in 2021, summer 2021, and what led me to building my own brand, and then led me to anti-MLM, believing I was part of them, the hate that I experienced in that community, and what ultimately led me to my decision and where I am today. The first part of my story is the part of my being homeless, my ventures, and my whole thing, and how I got started with paparazzi, and my experiences within paparazzi, and what I ultimately believe is the downfall, a lot of things wrong with paparazzi, and that is in part one. So if you haven't already done so, please go ahead, go back and watch part one. This is part two, and this one, there's like all this play. Oh, that's from my my box. I did an unboxing video earlier. So this one's going to have more of the tea, a lot of the juicy part of the ending, leaving paparazzi stuff, and then the hate that I got in anti-MLM, which needs to be exposed, and all of that. So if that's the kind of stuff you want to watch this. I do recommend you change the speed on this video to 1.5 or 2, because I'm going to be talking a lot, and it just goes a lot faster if you listen to me in a faster speed, so that you're not sitting here and listening to an hour-long story. You actually can just get a short version of just me talking really fast, unless you really don't want to do that. But if you can, please like and subscribe to this channel so that we can grow, because I have a whole lot of awesome video ideas that I'm going to bring to you guys. You guys are going to love it, including true crime, commentary, a lot of things about scams and online scams and MLMs and stuff like that, but not from any kind of stance. Like, it's not going to be anti-MLM. I'm going to make you believe what I believe and hate MLM and everything about them and every product. I'm not going to push that ideology on you. I'm also not going to be pro MLM and be like, come on. These MLMs are great and all these anti people don't know what they're talking about, because that's not true either. So like 99.9% of them are terrible, and I'm going to get into all the deep guts of those things. But I'm also going to do it in a way with class and not be bringing in reps to tear them down personally. It's not going to be that kind of channel. But we're also going to talk about other scams, like All In with Ari, and just all kind of other things. So if you're interested in any of those kind of things, make sure you follow this channel, because we have literally content, foundational modules of content that we are working on that is just unlike anything I've ever seen. I'm super excited about it. So please like this video and subscribe to this channel, and bear with me, because my first 100 videos are going to be sucky, and until we get to our 1,000 subscribers, I'm sure they're going to be terrible. So just bear with me, and let's change the world one booyah at a time. Let's get into it. So where I left off was summer of 2021. Now I'm now a premier producer with Paparazzi Accessories. I'm just about to be elite. I actually stopped the purchasing. I intentionally asked my team to stop purchasing a couple of those months, because I would have hit elite status. And if I would have hit elite status, I would not qualify for the Z collection to be named after me the following spring. So we had this whole plan of me getting my Z in the spring of 2020. Well, actually 2021, but then they changed right when I was at my high and I should have qualified for a Z necklace. The company goes and decides, listen to this crap. The company goes and decides that you have to be nominated by an elite. So that means you have to kiss the ass of an elite to get nominated to have the chance of earning one. Even though I had all the points in 2021, I wasn't going to earn one, because I didn't have anybody to kiss, any ass to kiss, basically. Because my friend that was my neighbor, my actual friend in real life, I wasn't on her team, because I joined another downline not knowing how that worked. If you watch the first part, even though she's a Maven A-lister and a big shot and has thousands of people on her live shows and she's a big deal, okay, she wasn't going to nominate me, right? Because I wasn't on her downline. Without that would not pay her and benefit her. So she wouldn't do that. So I had nobody to nominate me. So I had to wait till the next year. Even though I should have been elite, I waited intentionally, did not want to be elite. So I could qualify and get my Z collection, the Ashley. Actually, we're going to name, hopefully, my team was the Angels, and we were going to name it the Angel if we were allowed. I digress. So I'm now a premier producer. I'm doing really well. I have 100 people on my live shows. I am kicking butt, taking names. I am buying, hundreds of dollars a day, Monday through Friday, new releases, selling out right away. And pretty much, say 10,000 comes in, 10,000 goes out, pretty much. Okay. As far as sales, I mean, if I had to skip a few days in the week to pay a bill or something, I could do that. I had the flexibility to do that. But then whenever live shows would come on those that week, like a few weeks later when those shipments were coming in, I would have less to sell. And then you clearly would see my next month would be 9,000 or 8,000. You know what I mean? So the more I spent, the more I sold and made. But I had to keep buying to keep selling. But if I kept doing that, then I kept building up more and more and more inventory and selling it. Okay. And then whatever was left was just bonus and extra, and it would add up, but it was older stuff. So it wasn't like I could use, so I would kind of use it as fillers whenever we would sell out or want to do an extra bonus show or a giveaway. But pretty much overall, your team check becomes your main income. And that team check is built entirely on your downline not being able to sell and not being able to make money, because your downline is in the same position you are. Okay. Only they're not getting that big check every month. So they're buying this jewelry and they're selling it, and they can't sell more unless they buy more. And you're telling them that. You're trained to teach them that you can't sell what you don't have. So you have to keep buying to keep selling. And that's very true. The problem with that is the more you buy, the more you sell. If you don't buy, you can't sell. So you don't sell, you can't buy. And it's just, okay. So it ends up being a very much break even. There are ways you can be very smart about it that very few learn to do, or are educated enough and smart enough to, are capable of actually understanding profit and loss and having an actual budget and sticking to it in a FOMO, a fear of missing out mentality, where there's new releases every day. I kind of covered this in my last video. So here you are, with a downline, and your downline, you're encouraging your downline to keep purchasing. Now they have to keep purchasing because that's how you're paying your bills, because you are buying what you're selling. So your only profit is off of them. Not always, not entirely. What I'm saying is you can profit in that model, but you have to be very smart with it, very dedicated to, and put a lot of time and effort and energy into making sure you don't not profit. Okay. And that's a lot of hours and a lot of effort that most people aren't going to put in. And you got to do that for very little monetary gain. So yes, you can profit, say $500 a month. If you're selling 10,000, you could $10,000. You could probably profit 500 to 1,000, but you got to put a lot of hours in to make that profit. Okay. Where it ends up being a couple dollars an hour because you're putting in so much time to make sure you do it that way. Right. And then, but that team check is a steady check. That check comes every month, no matter what. The problem is that team check is coming from them having that same issue of buying, selling, buy more, sell more. Okay. But overall it's evening out. Yes, I'm getting like my own jewelry is free. I'm buying, selling, but everything I'm putting on every day is free. And I kind of have extra pieces laying around, and, I'm breaking even. So those pieces are like positive. Okay. You can look at it that way. There are ways to look at it. And I'm the devil's advocate, right? I'm not going to tell you anti-MLM all the way. Everything is bad. I'm here to tell you that they did save my life. If it wasn't for paparazzi, I would have been homeless again right after the pandemic, right after everything. So here I am. Now, I also forgot to tell you a major part in the end of 2020, when my first year lease was up in that beautiful home. They wanted to give that home to their son. So they didn't want to renew my lease. Now I had nowhere to go. here I am again with no credit in a pandemic. There's no houses available. I have still no credit. I don't have a steady job. I have an MLM job and I'm making decent money, but I have to put it all back in. What am I going to do? Because now I have to pay rent somewhere. And I pretty much had that same kind of problem, but now I had that commission check to live on. And I literally was only able to get, I found a 5-bedroom home, and I only got it because of my massive, my position and my income from Paparazzi. It's entirely the only reason why I got it. And they were so impressed by what I had built that they wanted to give it to me. And it's literally how I got my home that I am in now. And I have a beautiful home in a beautiful, safe city with beautiful schools. And my children are so happy here, and they all have their own bedrooms. And, I don't have one, but they all have one. I have a little office. I thought about putting a bed in here, but, I'm fine with that. But I only got that opportunity because of Paparazzi. So, I mean, yes, I am anti-MLM in most ways, but they did give me that opportunity. And I'm going to explain my whole travel through the whole communities and why I believe that being part of no community is the best community. Build a community around who makes you happy, and that should be your only community. You shouldn't have to change what you think, what you like, what you want in life based on what other people in the community think you should. You should do what is best for you and not entertain the hate, okay? And these people that are trying to educate in the name of anti-MLM movement are full of shit, okay? Yeah, okay. We're going to get into that. So, I got this house in the end of 2020. Now, 2021, summer, they have convention. That's where it all starts. They have convention. They have convention during a pandemic, and all these people go to Vegas for this convention, and Paparazzi does not push the guidelines, the CDC guidelines of the masks and everything, the mask mandate, all that. And that new strain had just come out. And it was like rampant. Like, I think it was like August 1st, the CDC said like major restrictions. And then like August 5th, they had this big convention and they didn't do any of them. They didn't follow any restrictions. Paparazzi declined having temperature checks and COVID checks or something like that at the places, like at the hotels, at the MGM Grand, at the concerts and the hotels or whatever. Okay, I almost went there. I didn't. That ticket sold out too fast, and I didn't make it. I was devastated because I was going to go and be crowned premier producer and life of the party diamond. So like I was really full of myself. I was like, I'm a big deal. I need to be there. I'm a pretty big deal. And you really feel like it. You really do. You feel like you're graduating college and they're going to come parade you around. That's exactly what it feels like. Like you've achieved some great title. It's really not. It's really not. You're not going to want to put that on your resume later on in life. It's not going to sustain you forever. If you college or an MLM title, please, honey, be smart. That's all I'm going to say. So, with that being said, I was super excited, super stoked, and I couldn't go, and I was super devastated. Well, then they have this event, and blah blah blah. Everybody comes home. You see all the pictures, and all of a sudden, people start dying. Temple. What was her name? She passed away, and her husband. And then Temple Masters, I think it was. She was the only one like I knew-ish. All these people start dying from COVID who were at the convention. Long story short, everybody's like, well, why didn't Paparazzi do more? Why didn't they step up and acknowledge these people died at their event? Why didn't they do more? Now, here's where I'm going to be the devil's advocate. It was not entirely Paparazzi's fault. I'm not going to bash them entirely. They should have taken extra precautions, yes, but they also had no real idea it was going to get so escalated so fast right at the start of convention. So why they didn't have an online version they are criticized for that, but we really thought that things were better at that time. If you remember, we were all looking at everybody being vaccinated, or 85% of the population being vaccinated and safe by the end of July or the end of June 2021. I remember that because I started blacking out right around that time. Sorry. That was another reason why I didn't go. Well, I missed the tickets the first time. Then when they re-released the tickets, I was started to black out, which is a part of my personal life. Okay. So June 3rd, 2021, I start blacking out. Like just like random, like that's exactly what it felt like. Okay. And I would like go down in worst cases. I couldn't go live. Like my whole life was changed and affected. I was still full on paparazzi. And I was like, I can't fly. I can't fly like this. So when they re-released the tickets at the end of June, I didn't even try to get them. And I was very upset about that. So now all these people start dying. And I'm like, well, good thing I didn't go, right? But I was still all in love with paparazzi. Okay, this was my dream, and nobody was going to change that. Like nobody was going to come and pull their anti-MLM crap on me. I was all in. In fact, right around that same time, I start watching two people. I start watching my idol, who was in paparazzi and was canceled and fired out of paparazzi a few months prior to the convention. Okay. And I was devastated that she was canceled and scared that I was going to be canceled by any little thing. Right. So like I was trying to like learn by her experience, and I still followed her because I was in love with her. I idolized her. At the same time, I start to see videos on YouTube about the paparazzi convention. Well, then the two worlds collide, and one of the Paparazzi Convention YouTube creators created a video on said idol who was canceled. And said idol had gone live to bash paparazzi and their choice of having this convention, not having an online version, and all the stuff the paparazzi had done wrong, and how vile it was that they even had this event, and how they just washed all their consultants' websites away whenever they passed away. They just vanished them. Now, to be fair, and I'm just again just being the truth, is that's not exactly the case. When any consultant passes away and they are notified of that, they take down the website for legal things, because like if I was a consultant and I died, and then somebody came and joined my team and they now owed me commissions, but I was technically dead, and like there's like this legal loophole that my lawyer later explained to me why that was a thing. Like it wasn't like they were, oh my gosh, they died, let's get rid of them so we can make room for new websites. Like that's not exactly how it happened. I'm the devil's advocate. I'm not trying to push any one person. She still was and is one of my idols. So that's not a thing. That's not a diss. But I'm just saying that there was all this stuff. So this YouTube creator creates these videos about paparazzi and the convention. And now I'm watching it. I have to remember my mindset at this time. I'm in paparazzi. I'm all in. Okay. I'm like defending the hell out of paparazzi. Okay. And so I remember watching these videos in August, and this had to be August because by September things changed. So like August, the end of August 2021, I'm watching this YouTuber, and I'm loving this YouTuber. Okay, I'm loving her. And I'm loving her, and I'm watching my idol, and she's loving on my idol, which is then making me love her more. And I'm feeling like really connected to these people. And but everything that she said, I was like, bullshit. like I was feeling so like already like feeling like I'm in a cult and I want to leave, and I'm feeling connected to the people on the outside. I feel like what they're saying is kind of getting to me at my soul, but logically, but like my brain's not there yet. So like I'm like literally like, no way. They're just salty. They're even though I loved and idolized the one, I was thinking, oh, she's salty. And that's just my truth. I was conflicted already. The confliction begins in the whole grand scheme of things. The end of August 2021 is when the confliction begins, because that's where it started at. Okay. So Now, fast forward, now it's September, so it has not been long. My said idol now teams up with another fellow ex paparazzi consultant. Now, this ex consultant was not high up in a team. She did not have a lot of team and recruiting, but she purchased a lot. I don't know if she sold a lot, but she purchased a lot. And so that gave her like the higher life of the party ranks, but more for purchasing. I don't know that she was great at selling or recruiting or overall, but she had like this life of the party rank. Okay. And she had been canceled, fired as well. So these two come together. Okay. And I don't know this person. I had no idea who this person was, but she was now friends with my idol. So I absolutely am all in and I love her already. And so I trust that my idol wouldn't lead me to somebody that was, unsavory. So I start now these two individuals begin a series called Tuesday Tea Time. And Tuesday Tea Time became synonymous with exposing all the bad things that are inside the paparazzi organization. So this became the inability to profit, the strict compliance rules and guidelines, the unfair level of the compliance enforcement, meaning the lower level or people that maybe didn't matter as much, like I was in my first month canceled for life and I had to fight my way out of it, compared to say somebody that makes them millions and promotes them like they're a god and just kisses their ass, and how they get away with literally everything and they're totally fine. um the inequalities, the issues of, there are people that have had disabilities that have been very much unfairly been treated by paparazzi, and like they start bringing these things to life and bringing these things to light, and giving us this like firsthand account of these crazy stories, and they start bringing on guests like every week to tell their story. And now this is starting like a revolution where people are literally sending in their resignation letters all the time so that they can come to the next Tuesday tea time and tell everybody, hey, I got out, I'm free. So now I start watching it, and from the first one I felt like I was changing in my soul. I felt like that first one, that my idol was talking to me and telling me that I was slimy, that I was doing these horrible things and taking advantage of these people that were not able to ever make the money I was making. And she starts explaining this whole structure. And I immediately melted, like inwards, like just melted and knew. I knew. I don't know if it was the first one, the second one, but it was within that September, right? That I just knew that I was doing horrible. Like I was doing this. I was doing this. I knew I was doing this because I had people on my downline that were literally had 1, 2 viewers, even though I developed this whole training thing. I developed a training series called Atlas, Ashley's Task List for Achieving Success, and I grew it, and it was massive and beautiful and worked so wonders. But there are still people that just don't do it. They don't get it. They can't do it. And they're sitting there taking out credit card after credit card after credit card. And they're coming to me like, well, I don't know, but I bought 50 of that gold ring. And I'm like, 50 of these gold rings? Like, why, And I knew in my heart that that was what was paying my bills, and what was I going to do? I was homeless 2 years before this. 2 years before this, I was in the streets with 5 children. I had to make a decision. Do I be slimy that my idol is telling me I am? Do I just go with it and be that asshole so that I can provide for my kids? Or do I get the hell out of here and just hope for the best? I couldn't. I couldn't. I couldn't jump. I couldn't jump. I couldn't bear the idea of not having a life for my kids, having to pull them out of school and go to live in a shelter just because I listened to somebody and I chose other people essentially over my children. I just couldn't do it. And I was but I at that from that moment on I was conflicted as hell, and I just didn't know what the answer was. And these amazing humans, I mean, regardless, I mean, things have happened since. The two that started this have broken up. They don't care for each other, they don't like each other. A lot of things happened that blew up a lot of things, which I'm going to get into my portion of that here shortly. But it doesn't, regardless, they led me out, and for that I will be forever grateful, because they helped me prevent more people, they helped me prevent further debt, of because my leaving later caused a lot of them to leave, who were going into debt, and they have told me how much their lives were positively changed by their exit after I left, and they would have never left if I would have stayed, and I would have never left if they wouldn't have done what they did. So they educated us, and it did help a lot. So all these people start quitting. So now what's happening is the commissions that people are getting are now dwindling, because so many of us lower, not me, I was in a lower level, but all the lower levels are watching this and they're quitting, right? I didn't have too many of my lower levels quitting, but a lot of people did. And so, but they were a little bit in mind, but I mean, it was just a decline overall, like, and people were leaving. And then you start seeing these elites leaving, and they're like, we can't, we don't want to do it anymore. We can't do it anymore. Then comes, the whole, wait a minute, Paparazzi says that their jewelry is 100% lead and nickel free. Are we sure that it's lead and nickel free? And that goes through this whole debate. Now they start on the tea times, they start doing these home tests. So they buy these tests on Amazon that tests for lead, and then they get these special nickel tests that they order online, and they're doing these live shows, and they're finding lead and nickel in these random pieces. And then every time they do this, then you have the paparazzi's people coming out saying, consultants are saying, no, they're doing home tests. That's not laboratory. That's not scientific. That's not this. They're biased, which they are, and so you don't know what to believe, but you're like freaked out, right? Well, at the same time, I'm still blacking out, right? Like I was still like heavily blacking out. And but by like October, I wasn't purchasing the paparazzi as much anymore. And so I had mentioned it to my doctor about, could this be possible? And she said, absolutely, quit buying it and see what happens. So so by October, I had already made the decision, I'm not buying anymore. I'm not quitting, because I can't live without my commission, but I'm not purchasing. I'm purchasing enough to be active, and that's it. I'm not doing so my live sales have gone down, and now I have to, but I have to, I was already only living on my commission check. So it was okay to quit selling. Like, that's proof right there that you're not making money on sales. When I was a diamond life of the party and a premier producer, and I was able to just up and quit selling and just live off my commission check, because now the rank didn't matter anymore. So I didn't have to put in the work. Like, I didn't have to sell to just buy, to sell to buy, to sell to buy, to sell to buy. I didn't have to anymore. I was able to just quit. But I didn't want to quit because I didn't want my commission check to go away. So I couldn't sell for less what I had stocked to make extra money. I couldn't um I couldn't go and start selling something else. I had to stick to their rules, because they still owned me. They still owned me to get my commission check, but I was able to drop sales altogether, and still maintain my life the way that I had before when I was selling everything. If that's not telling, I don't know what is. But I quit. I quit buying. I kid you not, I was heavily medicated by that point to keep my blackouts at bay. And I'm going to jump ahead for a second. On Halloween, I took my kids trick or treating October 31st, and I realized I forgot my medicine. And then I didn't take it the next day on purpose. And then the next day, and I have yet to black out a day since that day. And I quit purchasing the paparazzi October 3rd or something. Like I ordered enough to be active October on like the 3rd. And that was it. So we were getting our orders in about 2 weeks or a week or something. And that was one box, one time. And that was it. And my doctor ultimately said that my lead levels were higher and they had come back to normal by the month after. So by November, my lead levels were normal and I was no longer opening it. It's not so much that it's unsafe. This is the paparazzi necklace. And I buy paparazzi off of my friends because I know what it's like to need that sale. Okay. I get it. But when you're buying hundreds of dollars every day, you are now trained like a monkey. Open the box. Ooh, okay, you're going through it. You open it, checking it all. Checking it all. Open, checking it all. Now you're going live, showing it all. Now you're packing it all. Now you okay. When you're doing that, hundreds of pieces a day. I'm not talking 30 pieces a month that you buy to get active. I'm not talking 100 pieces a month because you buy like a couple orders. I'm talking hundreds of pieces every single day of the week when they're coming in. Because they would come in on Saturdays and Sundays too. Because I did multiple orders throughout the day. You know, I didn't just do one order Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I do 2 orders Monday, 3 orders Wednesday, or Tuesday and Wednesday. You know, so you would have boxes literally every day of the week coming in, big boxes this high up. Okay, like big boxes. Okay, you're going through every single day. When you are exposed like that, and it's not so much that it was just getting stocked in my office, it was that I was handling it probably more than anybody. You know, not more than anybody, but like, you know, in the top tier of handlers. Okay. So now back, I'm watching this show and they eventually get me to navigate a new path. I ended up doing my own side research and getting my LLC, establishing my own brand, my own business, finding vendors and building business relationships with vendors all around the world. I have vendors yes, there's China, but there's Japan, the UK, Australia. I have one in South America. I have vendors everywhere. And then I have like 56 vendors in the US. Okay. So I have Mexico. I mean, I have Canada. I have vendors everywhere. And I slowly built these relationships just the same way that I built my paparazzi business. I built my own. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could do this all on my own. And it will not be dependent on other people buying and going into debt. I can buy stuff for $1 and sell it for $7, $8. Instead of living off of other people's debt, I can buy my own stuff and sell my own stuff at a regular boutique price markup. And it changed my life. I put a lot of time. I didn't have a lot of money. I still had a 5-bedroom house, 5 children on my own to raise and support. I don't have investors to back me and all this money to invest that I can build bigger. Because if I had that, if I had investments, if I had a real shot in the world, I would have a multi-million-dollar business right now. But I have to build it from the ground up, and I'm steadily getting there and working towards it, one booyah at a time. So this whole process leads me to following everybody in the exit paparazzi, the mass exodus of 2021. Well, then this becomes a group. Okay. And this is where the group T comes. So those two people, my idol and her friend at that time, they start a Facebook group. And this group is Crack the Crown or something. I think it's Crack the Crown. And it's shut down now. Paparazzi lawyers got it taken down. Whatever. But they made this group, and I'm not even here to hate on the group. But the people inside the group became very hateful on everybody else. So you had a mixed bag of people in a group. You always do. And instead of everybody being welcomed for who they were and what they believed in their own personal story, it became you kind of had to be whatever the leaders decided that you were supposed to be. And it wasn't my idol, it was the friend and the friend's daughter that decided that you had to be a certain way. And I didn't realize I wasn't. I didn't really talk to anybody. So a couple of the people that were friends with them, like a couple of the friends of the leaders had invited me to a group chat one time, invited me and wanted to talk to me, and we became friends. And so I thought I was in. I thought I was part of them. I thought this was I finally found my people. Like, these people get it. They get the cult that I left. They get how hard it was, because of course I submitted my paparazzi resignation in November of 2021. They made it official in December 2021. I still got paid for December. And so my business officially launched January 2022, the year of the Booyah Boutique. We are quite unique. Get it, get it, get it. Back up. Okay, so in like November, it took a lot for me to resign. I'm a single mom of 5 kids. I'm terrified, right? I am terrified. But I know I can do it because I have all the support of this amazing group. That's exactly, I felt like, so I resigned, and everybody I knew, I lost 1,000 followers. I had to start a whole new page because my page got torn to shreds with reviews and all of that. I had to like rebrand everything come 2022. And I had like 5,000 followers or something like that in the year that I was there. Like, I had to rebrand and do everything all over again because I was torn to shreds. I was blocked. All my friends that I knew outside of paparazzi were told to block me because I was spreading misinformation and negativity. I was spreading lead and nickel, this was poisonous jewelry. I never said it was poisonous. I was just in the group of the people that believed it was. I didn't go live saying it was poisonous. I wasn't on a rampage trying to get everybody out. I just was in a group of people that were. And because of my association of those people, I was outcasted entirely. I was blocked by people that I thought were my friends in paparazzi that I was not even speaking bad about. My downline was coming in for me, attacking me, trying to bring up. I had one downline. I did a live where I told my story, and it was not a hateful story. It was just a story like I told you now about how I was canceled a bunch of times and how it was too much for me to deal with the debt of the downline. I had downlines come in and try to tell my audience that I was on drugs and that that I had like a husband somewhere, and like I don't even remember, but it was like all this crazy like irrelevant stuff. But they were trying to so hard to get people to hate me because they didn't want me to tell my own story. That is a cult. If you are not allowed to share your own truth that had no hate on any specific person, and it was just your story, like I'm telling you right now, and you are treated like a complete horrible outcast, like you're just a worthless piece of shit, and they just they have to attack you in every way they can and destroy your credibility because you are nothing now, because you're not part of them. And I took refuge in this group. I felt like this group was there to save me and to take me, and this group was going to be what saved my life. And I endured all that, right? And I'm telling you, a week after I had told my story in the group and was added to this group chat and all this stuff, about a week later, I wake up and I go to check the group, and I can't find it. And I go to the group chat and I said, what's wrong with the group? And them being moderators or whatever, they go and they said, nothing's wrong with the group. Why? What? I said, well, I don't know. I'm not in the group anymore or something. And I remember specifically the one saying, oh my God, who did you piss off? And I said, how how would I piss anybody off? I mean, I keep to myself. I did a live show where I told my story on my own page, but I mean, what could I have done to make anybody mad in the ex paparazzi group? What could I have done? So the one girl that was a moderator, I think she wasn't a moderator yet, but then later she was kissing their ass to become a moderator or something. I don't know. Don't quote me on all that. Just from hearsay, like what I kind of remember. And I'm not giving names because it doesn't matter. But the one that I thought was friends, she was working at the time when all this happened. There was a bunch of people in the group that they invited me to, right? And so I was like, man, guys, what did I do? And they were like, don't worry. I'm sure it was a mistake. We'll fix it for you. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, okay, and now the days going on, I'm starting to get really upset. I go to try to find the one leader, the friend of my idol, and she has me blocked. And I'm like, hold up. I've never talked to this lady. Why would I be blocked? Like, this is so weird. So I go to them and I'm like, she has me blocked. What the hell could I have done? I've literally not done anything. I have not been even part of, like, it's not like I'm like moderating and like involved in all the like ins and outs. Like, I didn't, that was a nobody. And, and so they're like, okay, well, anyway, long story short, they bring that my idol's friend who ran the group, they bring her to this group chat. And I did a Clubhouse one time. If you know Clubhouse, I did a whole story on this where I read the messages. This lady completely, in front of all these people that said they were my friends, completely tore me a new one. She accused me of going live and sharing my live into our support group, which everybody did. The reason why it was a support group was for said things. But they also wouldn't approve them if they didn't want to. It was not like it automatically got in there. They had to approve it, so they could have just declined it. I mean, we all own groups and get stuff that are accidents when you click. You know what I mean? And even in the first second of my live, when I was nervous as hell to tell my story on my own page, nervous as hell, and I was clicking to share in my own groups, I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Please delete that if it's not allowed. Like, I was such a nervous wreck. It was not intentional, and everybody was allowed to do it anyway. So, I mean, it was just weird. But the reason why she said she had a problem with it is because I had joined pharmacy, an MLM, this MLM that I like, the shampoo, which I'm going to get into in a minute. I joined an MLM and I mentioned it vaguely for like about 5 seconds, 10 seconds, about 2 hours into my live. I had said that it's not that I'm against MLMs. I joined pharmacy for the discount. That's all I said. In the whole 2-hour live of my telling story, I had said that I joined an MLM from a discount. All I said. But she then reams me saying that I shared my live into that support group to recruit the vulnerable people, the vulnerable ex-paparazzi crowd to my new MLM. Cussed me out. Literal cussed me out. Saying that was my intent. And that I am adding friends with everybody in the group and messaging them to come join my pharmacy team. That never happened. So they do these live shows about paparazzi and they're all about bring the receipts, bring their receipts. Their receipt was they said so. That was their receipt. It never happened, but their receipt was they said so. Well, of course, if they say so, right? What the hell? What the mother? What? And all the people that said they were my friends were sitting there letting it happen, and I'm like, I literally start bawling. I honestly was very suicidal at that point because I built my whole life, my home and everything, my children's future inside of paparazzi. And I had to leave them because I didn't feel like I was doing the right thing by the world. I left them and that was so hard and I lost everybody. And the only hope and refuge I had was this group that understood me. And a week later, I was banished. Not just banished, but blocked, banished, accused, and completely destroyed in a group chat with people that I called my friends. Within a week of leaving one cult, I was right in another one, right being banished out of it, going right into the holidays feeling like I lost everything now, and I wanted nothing more than to end my life. And that's an inner thing that not too many people know, and that's where I felt. That's where they left me, and it was all based on untruths. I ended up leaving this whole situation and healing out of it, right? And I never recruited for pharmacy after, like, at all, before that or after that. If that was my motive, I would have ran with or ran with pharmacy and been top ranked with them within 3 months, just like I did paparazzi. I was not doing that. Those people in that close group, I said, did any of you even know that I was with pharmacy? Did I even say anything to you guys who added me to a group chat? They said, no, we didn't know. So if I didn't tell the people that invited me in, why would I be going inviting people in that I didn't know? I wasn't doing that. Then she also cussed me out and accused me of bothering her moderators all day long with my petty high school bullshit. Because I got kicked out of a group, I bothered her all day long while she was at work. They added me to that group chat. All I did was ask them if there was something wrong with the group and said, what did I do wrong? They were like, oh, we're going to find out. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Did you try this? Did you try that? And that probably blew up the girl's phone all day. It wasn't just me talking. But because of that, I got torn to shreds. I mean, karma is beautiful, and they are not doing so well with their whole endeavors right now. And it's very, very clear. But they grew real fast in a short period of time, but they're never going to have that. They're not business minded, successful people. I might not be rich to start with, like they were, and able to invest all this money and try all these new things. If I were, I would have multi-million-dollar businesses. Like I said, they had the money. I'm giving it the time, and mine are going to succeed. Theirs won't, and that's already true. But it will show with time. But I'm not here to even bash them. But that was where I was left in the dust, leaving paparazzi. But for my children's sake, my special needs child, all of them, they need me. I need to get up and make a go of this business. So January 2022, I launched the Boo. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, Boo. Now let me really quick explain this to you. The Booyah, that's our word. We use this. This means love. This is sign for love. Okay. And we use this for love, hope, peace, motivation, just everything good. So when you're having a bad day and you need to think positive, you just booyah. You want to just get motivated. You want to just be strong, be courageous, be resilient, be feisty, be booyah. Right? You have that way about you, and you're changing the world and helping others and being a positive light in the world. And all of that is a booyah. All right. Okay, so we start the booyahboutique.com and the Booyah Boutique in January. And I use all my connections from all around the world in order to establish all of this around the world, on my website, and it's going good. And in February 2022, my mom calls me with the devastating news that her cancer has come back with a vengeance, and she doesn't have long to live, and she's going to have to go on hospice, and she needs somebody to care for her. So now I have my 5-bedroom home on my own with my 5 kids out here, and an hour away, I have my mom on hospice. And I have this big business I have to run and maintain. So that's what I did every day. I would drive back and forth that hour back. I would sleep there, bring kids with me, have kids go. do live shows at her house, do live shows at home, and just constant back and forth and back and forth and back and forth every day, every day. And ultimately, she passed away in July. So for the first 6 months, basically, of our brand new business, we didn't really have, we worked and we built and we grew, but again, it was just kind of barely just enough, just to get by. And I had this big dream of starting an affiliate program where I can help people without being in the MLM world, in the multi-level marketing world. I can actually help people actually make the money like I am, because I didn't have to work near as hard once I didn't have to do that anymore. Once I was able to work for myself legitimately in the boutique world, I didn't have to work near as hard to make the same money. It was very, very beautiful. And so I was able to take care of my mom and do all that. I'd never been able to do that in paparazzi. Never. So everything happens for a reason. And I miss my mom. I love her deeply and will miss her for the rest of my life. But we started this affiliate program and we launched it on August 8th. So just only a little over a month ago, we launched this affiliate program. Basically, you buy in, you get a kit, which is a mixture of all the stuff that we sell. Say like these skull rose earrings and this kitty bag. And I don't know. Let's see. Oh man, my computer's getting hot under here. These butterfly bracelets, okay, things like that, all right? And basically jewelry, clothing, home decor, the headbands, hats, dream catchers, gnomes, all kind of stuff, okay? So you buy a kit and then that exclusively puts you into our group. I run my Atlas training that I developed in the top 1% of paparazzi. That is training in there. Now we only started a month ago, so it's like very surface level right now, but it's getting bigger and better. And then you're able to get all of our products that I list on my website or my page, and you get them for 40, 50, 60. It will be eventually like 70% off. Right now, it's a group ordering mentality or like setup, like structure. So the more people we add on, we always are going to stay limited. But the more people that we bring on and the more group orders that we have, the more profit we will be able to make as a group. So that way it's beneficial to help each other. Instead of it's beneficial to help each other because we make money off of each other, like a downline. Like I want you to join me because I want to make percentage off of what you buy. Instead of that, it's mutually beneficial. So if I help 10 of these people make money, then they'll order more and all of our prices will be less because we're bulk ordering. It's a concept that's brand new. I'm developing. I don't see anybody else doing it, but I'm sure it'll get replicated in some ways. And I don't have the backing of millions of dollars and investors to make it huge right away. But we are building it and it's growing over time, and it's going to be the foundation of so great things, right? And I'm finally able to help people make money in this world, in this niche, right? And so that is the Booyah Retailers LLC. So I've built all of these companies all from scratch. And all while doing so, this is the next chapter. The next chapter is all while doing so, I was watching content on YouTube and it was all basically about anti-MLM. And I started to watch a lot of people that became my favorite creators. Those creators included the one that I watched initially that had featured my idol. Well, it turns out that one ended up siding with the friend who cussed me out. The one that cussed me out, threw me out of her group and thought she was holier than thou. Yeah, it turns out she was part of like 18 MLMs at that time. Is that funny? Funny, haha, or funny, interesting that I got the axe and treated like shit and was outcasted and suicidal, left to be suicidal, wanted to kill myself because of how badly she treated me when she herself was in like 18 MLMs. But the girl that I was watching on YouTube, who was my favorite creator at the time, and I was bringing all my friends to watch her and everything. Anyway, she became friends with that bitch. and somehow she became a hater of mine without I'm nobody, and somehow she became a bitch to me. So I went and had everybody unsubscribe to her, and not that I control people, but that was rude, and she was not nice. She still is very not nice, and if I doubt she'll ever watch this because I'm nobody. But if she does and she knows who she is, then why? Like, what did I ever do to you? I've literally never done anything but praise you and share you with everybody I knew because I loved you so much. And then all of a sudden, I'm just this asshole that gets kicked out, and then recently you had said on your page, I laughed at a paparazzi video a short that you made. I laughed at it. I thought it was funny. I thought you did a great job. And you literally told me I was in a cult. And at that time, I wasn't in any MLM. I was doing nothing but my own thing. And you called and said, and you literally told me I was in a cult. And then when I said, huh, me? You never said anything. So you like to say things, but not actually back it up. Just like your friend, we'll call her T. Just like her, she likes to say all this stuff about people, but not actually back it up with receipts. And be a total nuisance. And so many people hate her. And well, yeah. Anyways, this is not about a hate thing. Like, I'm never gonna make this about drama and hate, but like literally the hate that I get. So, but other than her, like, she's a piece of crap. But like all the other creators in that world, I love. Like, I still do. And I just feel like they bring a lot of good factual information to the table. The problem that I have is a lot of them never were high ranking in an MLM. A couple of them have, and those ones I believe are bringing the most solid research and information because they themselves have been high ranking in an MLM and they realized, like I did, and that's what led me to anti MLM. Right. So I was in that situation where I was a high ranking in an MLM and I left because I realized I was in a cult. All right. And I see the educational side of that, trying to help people. And those ones are more or less making fun of other people, but I get the educational undertones. Okay, they're doing, a lot of them are doing it in a fair educational kind of way where they're pointing out the things, not in a haha way, but like in a, you see how they're doing that? That's not exactly right. Yeah, and I get that, and I respect what they're doing because most are like that. But I start to fall down into this rabbit hole of I'm clearly anti MLM. Like, I am not for any of these, and this and that. And like, I start watching these and like really feeling like this is where I belong. I finally, now after all this time, I finally figured out where I belong. It's the anti MLM community, because hello, I was in a cult all that time, and then I left and I went to another freaking cult. It was the anti paparazzi cult, you know, and they literally treated me, they treated me like, they banished me from their cult because of lies and stuff. Like they literally proved they were a cult, which is it. Well, as far as I know, that anti-MLM creator is part of that cult. With that lady still. I don't know, I don't follow people's drama, but she was at one time. So if anybody's in a cult, think about what you're in yourself before you start telling other people that they're in a cult. Like, that is the greatest thing, is think about everything that you believe in and everybody that follows you, or that you think about any behaviors that you might change, information that you might change on your lives, or on your videos, like the information that you're bringing to people. You're not exactly saying the good stuff. There is good stuff sometimes, but you don't say that. You're controlling the information. You're controlling people's behavior because they have to believe 100% what you do, or else they are not good enough for you, right? You're controlling their thoughts. You're telling them how bad these things are and why they're bad and what they should think and what they should believe. And you're very much emotionally controlling people, because if they don't agree with them, you call them names, you make fun of them, you say they're in a cult when they're not in any MLM or anything. So think about what you're doing before you start calling other people out for being in a cult. That I will go to my grave with. But so this ended up being longer than the last video, but this is like the big T video. So um So I go into this deep rabbit hole. I start researching companies. I research Thrive Lavelle, and I am 80% against Thrive. And I start creating this video that's not, I'm not trying to be an anti MLM creator. I never was. I wanted to be an honest review creator of MLMs, where I came and reviewed all the anti MLM or all the MLM stuff. And then I offered duplicates of the products. So I came and I did a video, terrible quality. I had just opened the channel. I just wanted to get something out, try it. So I made a Thrive one. I showed all the Thrive products that I purchased and tried out. I actually purchased the Thrive products, lots of money, tried them all out, wrote journal entries for each product, studied all the ingredients in every product, and found exact duplications at Amazon, became an Amazon affiliate with an affiliate home storefront, brought that to my channel and made a video. It got terrible like number count views and stuff because I'm nobody. But and the quality was bad, but I was just trying to practice. So I shared all my reviews. And if there was a good enough replacement, I shared the replacement. If I felt like this product couldn't be quite replaced and that they had a little bit of an advantage with one product over another, I shared the Thrive link because I was giving my honest review. I wasn't trying to control the narrative in being anti MLM. And that's what I feel like anti MLM creators tend to do, not consciously. I feel like they're trying to educate, they're trying to bring the bad, and they are, but then they're only bringing the bad. And I understand they don't see any good. But what that tends to do is that tends to control the narrative and make it all anti. And then what happens is the people that are deep in the MLMs watch this and they instantly defensively say, well, you're making money off of it. You're making money off of the views of these people. You're building your own cult inside of the anti community, and all of that's valid too. They are building a cult in the anti community. And I'll tell you why. Because, and I just did, but I'm going to elaborate on that. So, but just to get on there. So all the people that are deep in MLMs are going to not take this seriously. They're not going to look at what you're watching and say, maybe I am doing something unethical. Maybe the way I make my money is not how I want to make my money. I'm looking at it from a top leader perspective. If I was watching these, which I did, I told you about on my first video of August 2021 and how I watched them with like a confliction thing, I'm not going to take it as education. I'm going to take it as hate. And all that's going to do is that's going to spread hate. They're now going to hate on you and you're now going to hate on them. And it's just going to be hate versus hate. And you're both going to make money off of your hate. You're going to make money off of the community that you're creating to help people. And they're going to make money off of their community. They're trying to, because they're going to get more MLM support because they're fighting the enemy, which is the anti-MLM. And it's just it's uncalled for. There's no reason for the hate. If you just bring your honest to goodness, this is me. I'm not anti, I'm not in this. Like, I'm not part of Thrive. I'm not in Thrive. I benefit nothing from a Thrive link. But hey guys, I tried out all the products and I really don't agree with their structure. This is why. I don't agree with their structure because for you to make money, this has to happen and this has to happen and this has to happen. I would interview somebody who's actually making a lot of money in the structure and say, how do you make your money? Okay, well, let's say this person doesn't sell anymore. Let's say you don't sell any product this month. How are you paying your bills? Ask them, find out from somebody who is making money in that company and talked about that different ways. Like I would have explained to you my paparazzi situation, right? And then review the products and say, well, this product is totally replicatable at Amazon. Look at it's $20 here and $89 here. Okay. But this one here, I honestly can say did not give me the same feeling as the Amazon version was not quite the same. I tried 3 Amazon versions. That wasn't quite the same. I would say if you really like this product, this one, you might want to stick with this one, but you can try these other ones. These other ones might work better on you than they did me. But my personal view is this, the Lavelle I don't even know, Lavelle move works better for me than the duplicates, right? So, so what that would do is if somebody's a leader in Thrive and they're watching that's educational. That is somewhere where they would be like, wait a minute, I know them and they make a lot of money. Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't think about it that way. I didn't think about it that way. Yeah. I mean, like, cause if I didn't make any sales on like, oh yeah, I get it. But also, wait a minute, if I can find all this stuff on Amazon and wait, I can get a link on Amazon to be an affiliate. I don't have to be like somebody special. Wait a minute. Anybody can do that? What'd she say? And now you're helping people educate out instead of hating their way out. And that was my whole premise of what I wanted to build. And I was totally all in to do that. I was anti MLM, but I wanted to educate, not hate. I wanted to bring facts and let people make their own decision and interview people that were in the MLMs so that I could then educate people. And I still am going to do this. And if anybody all magically happens to have this idea on their channel, you know, if it makes you feel better to take other ideas, then that's on you. I don't really give a shit. But you doing it as far as like, hey, I'm bringing you this information that I decided to share with you. I'm only sharing with you the worst of the worst. And I'm telling you how it makes you think. I'm telling you how it should make you think. And you're not allowed, if you don't think this way and you don't behave the way that I'm telling you, if you're not all entirely agreeing with me, then you don't belong in the chat, you don't belong in the comments, you don't belong on this video, you don't belong in our community. It's all done from here. You have to entirely be, and that's the bite model. You're here educating people to not be a victim of the bite model inside a multi-level marketing company. When you, honey, are you and your education, your anti-MLM rhetoric are controlling people's behavior, the information you bring, the thoughts that they're supposed to think, and emotionally controlling them. Okay, I found my soul in an anti-MLM group yet again on Facebook. I met a few friends on there and I was posting daily the research I was finding on these MLMs. I was so excited. And then one day I was running out of my shampoo. My pharmacy shampoo was running out. I hadn't been selling it. I hadn't recruited at all ever. And a couple people joined my team because they're my friends. They wanted the discount, but I never recruited one day in my life. And so I go and I make a post on Facebook, and it very innocently says, hey guys, I'm conflicted. Help me out here. I'm totally anti-MLM. Like in my heart, my soul, it bleeds MLM, anti-MLM. But I love this damn shampoo. Like I've tried to find duplicate. Like I've tried dozens of shampoo. I've spent a lot of money trying to find something just as good, just so I didn't use the MLM product. That just sounds silly. Why? It's a product. You like it. Why are you trying so hard to find another one? You're not predatory. You're not doing anything wrong by buying a product you like. So what, but I was trained to believe that. I was trained to believe that I was not allowed to like this stuff because that behavior is for you're not an anti-MLMer if you use any MLM product. So I felt like I had to find a duplicate for everything I liked, and I couldn't. And I was in a place like, what do I do? Honest to God, I wrote, if you ever join pharmacy, you probably won't make money. You probably, and I like it purposely like bashed it, but just landed on, but I love the shampoo. What do I do? Within 5 minutes, no lie, I was removed from all the MLM groups. I was hated on, laughed, reacted, unfriended, and blocked by everybody I knew in the community of anti-MLM. If I couldn't have planned an experiment better. And it was not meant to be that way. It was not meant to be an experiment, but it sure turned out to be quite the great experiment, right? Because who proved that they were the cults? Who proved the bite model in that moment? Because it wasn't the MLM. I had hundreds of people say, use it. What's the big deal? I don't understand. What's the big deal? Because they just don't know. And then you have your your people in the MLM saying, I love that shampoo. Oh, is it this kind? I love it too. And then you had your anti-MLMs laughing at it. And the one said, I can't believe we were just talking about MLMs the other day and how much you hate them. And here you making this post. I can't believe you, or something. And I said, I literally bashed everything about MLMs in the post, but I like the shampoo. It's a shampoo. And she said, it's a freaking MLM. And I said, it's a freaking shampoo. It's a freaking shampoo. So you're telling me you're not going to be my friend, even though I am anti-MLM till the day is long. But because I like the shampoo, I don't belong in any of your groups. I'm not allowed to be your friend. You're going to laugh at everything I say. It's all a joke now because I like a shampoo. I literally dissed everything about the company in the post, but I said I like the shampoo. Yep. And at that point, I said, why am I changing my behavior to suit an anti-MLM rhetoric? What am I doing again? I'm literally going into another cult. What the ever loving hell am I doing? So right then and there, I did a deep dive on the pharmacy brand because I wanted to find the bad so bad. Like I wanted to find the bad in the pharmacy because I felt like, once again, I needed to change my behavior. I needed to get rid of pharmacy. So I got to find bad stuff, all about bad, like bad about the product, bad. I got to find the bad to hate it, because that's what they need me to do. I have to be like that, right? At first. And I start doing a deep dive on pharmacy and I fall in love again. I'm sorry that it doesn't fit your narrative. I'm sorry that I don't belong in your little cult of anti-MLM, even though I am pretty anti-MLM. But I'm an honest anti-MLM. I am an anti-MLM with love. I'm not anti as so much as educating out of MLM. I will love to help educate people outside of their MLM without hating on them and making them feel like less than when they're in, because they don't realize what they're doing while they're in. And if you were one of them, you should know more than anybody that you shouldn't have been hated on. If you would have been hated on in those years when you were at the top, if you'd have been hated on and made fun of on YouTube videos and told how to think and feel and behave, you, my friend, would have never been an anti-MLM. That's not how you got yourself out. And I'll never believe that. You got yourself out because you realized it through education. Like I realized it when my idol was in. She was high up where I was. She realized all this stuff later. At first she was probably upset she was fired, but then she realized, and she brought her real truth to us. She didn't say, "Oh, you're, if you're in, you're a piece of shit." She was like, "Listen, if you're in, there's a way out, and if you're in, think about what you're doing." Like she was real and raw, and she educated. She didn't hate it. Now, over time, that became a hate paparazzi show, yes, and it was make fun of people, yes, but her overall demeanor was never to hate on anybody inside. Like if even over time, she only hated on people that were intentionally higher up, like doing things like intentionally slimy, like that knew better and were still doing the things. Like those were the people that were made fun of, not like the average Joe. Okay, so the anti-MLM community is a cult. It is very much a cult, and I will forever share my story. But when I was banished for a shampoo, that changed everything. And all that did was push me right back in. But with caution, I knew pharmacy would be my next deep dive. And that's all it was going to be. It was a deep dive on my YouTube. That was what this was going to be. It was a deep dive on YouTube with duplicates of what to buy and a breakdown of the compensation plan with pharmacy to teach and educate on how you don't have to use this to make money in the world, and the hate that I experienced, and realizing the quality in the products, I couldn't do that. I couldn't find the bad. The bad did not exist. And that led me to where I am today. So if that makes you unsubscribe because I'm not your cult leader, then that's fine. But I'm going to be the one that brings you the truth, the facts, the tea, and everything in between. The one that actually talks to you like a human being and doesn't try to hate you into submission, like to literally just talk bad about everybody and everything that is multi-level marketing, without realizing that there's a gray area in everything. There is a gray area in MLMs where they're not bad. Listen, I can be pharmacy and buy my stuff at a discount without recruiting. I don't have a monthly minimum to reach. Like, I don't have to go buy all this stuff and inventory. I literally buy what I want when I want. And if I don't buy enough, I just reset my stuff. I just call and reset it after 6 months. But I get a discount. I mean, where okay, so because 1% might go to the person that I signed up under, okay, that's a marketing, that's a legitimate marketing distribution that they talk about, but the problem is that all MLMs believe they are. All MLMs believe they're the one that's better, the one that's different, and that's just not true. Because I will find the bad in those, but I will also show that this part about this company is not kind of bad enough to steer away, but maybe if you did it this way and only did it this way, it could be okay, and maybe you could make a couple bucks, but it's probably not recommended. And then this one, highly not recommended. But then this one, you could probably make a little bit without putting too much into it. Just got to be careful about this and this and this. You see that? That's the gray area. That's being open. That's being un-anti. So anti is very limiting and very cult like, because now you're anti MLM and you only accept people that refuse to use the freaking shampoo. If you're going to hate me because I like this shampoo, I don't want you on my channel anyway. All right. And that's going to end this an hour, 16 minute. I got to go get more work done in other ways. But I hope all this content comes out good and that you guys can please like and subscribe and follow me, because I have a whole lot more to come. This is where you're going to find the tea and the commentary and everything in between. I have true crime and historical things and all kind of stuff coming, and business help. My Atlas program, I'm going to drop Atlas training on here. And I know it's crazy because to have a successful channel, you got to kind of have one niche, right? But not me. I'm going all around the world and see where we land. All right. Until I see you guys again, stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane, stay positive, but not COVID positive, and keep on changing this crazy MLM, anti-MLM, hate-filled world one booyah at a time. Booyah.